Go ahead. Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Evans from Outclick Magazine. Today we are so excited to talk to Barbara Bradshaw. Barbara is this year's winner from the Carbonell Awards of the Bill Hindman Award. It was named after Bill Hindman, pioneer actor, theater director, and producer. It was established in 2000 to recognize contributions to South Florida theater development by an individual or group for singular achievement and/or contributions. Barbara has appeared in many local theaters, including but not limited to the Actors Playhouse, Palm Beach Drama Works, the Kravis Center, Florida Stage, Mosaic Theater, Maltz Jupiter Theater, and the much-missed Coconut Grove Playhouse. She's received the coveted Los Angeles Drama Logue Award and the Silver Palm Award. Last year, she was honored by the Florida Professional Theater Association for the Lifetime Achievement Award. Barbara, we're so excited to talk to you today. Welcome.
Thank you. Boy, I listened to all that and I think, wow, I have had a long life.
Barbara, congratulations on winning one of the Carbonell Awards. It is a very prestigious award to win. It is not a small feat. You and I were chatting before. You're actually, as we say in Kentucky, you're an absolute hoot and a half. And so we really appreciate you joining us today. Tell us some of the things that I was reading all the things that you've been in. We'd be here all day if we talked about some of the things that you've been in. But what are some of the really memorable things, if you wanted to share, about what you've done?
Oh my gosh. I think I've been doing this for 45 years.
Okay.
So my foray into South Florida theater, I guess, would be back in 45 years ago when a group of us came down to start a theater in a place we had never heard of before.
Okay.
Boca Raton? Where's that?
Where is Boca Raton?
Yeah, where's Boca Raton? Because most of us were New York City. Well, I'd been living in New York City for years.
Okay.
And the president of the College of Boca Raton, which was then the College of Boca Raton, which is now Lynn University, wanted to start a theater on his campus because his campus was out on Military Trail, which we know was another country 45 years ago. And he wanted people to come out there. Long story short, we started a theater, and it was the Caldwell Theater Company, which later became the State Theater of North Carolina. And but when we started in the cafeteria of the College of Boca Raton. On one end was a little stage, and they'd have to be sure to clear all the dishes out before we took the stage. And there were times that we, in a 3-character play, outnumbered the audience. But it was a
I just got your joke. 3-character play outnumbered the audience. I just got that.
Yes. There literally was one performance where one couple showed up.
Okay.
Michael Hall, who was the founder, really, of the Caldwell Theater Company, who passed away 2 years ago. He came back into the dressing room, which was literally the utility closet. There were 2 guys and myself, along with buckets and mops and a utility sink. And that was our dressing room. And he came back and he went, well, we've got 2 people out there. There's 3 of you. What do you think? And we said, let's do it. They paid their money. Let's do it. And it turned out to be a wonderful experience. But the Caldwell Theater Company later went on to different other venues, and it had that beautiful building on Federal Highway, which is now the Wick Theater.
Okay.
That was the Caldwell Theater, but then the Caldwell Theater sort of disbanded, and the building sat empty for a while, and we were all afraid it was going to become a church. So nothing wrong with churches.
Nothing wrong with churches, but
we wanted it to stay a theater, and we were so grateful when Marilyn Wick bought the building.
Okay. So now we've worked with Kimberly Wick and Marilyn Wick on projects of theirs. I've done interviews with Kimberly. We've been out to their costume museum, and we've been out to their wonderful shows, and I've done interviews live with Kimberly. We saw the Music Man out there recently, Patsy Cline's show at the Wick Theater. Yeah,
well, that building is now the Wick Theater, and to take nothing away from that, and the Costume Museum was originally built. It was, I think, the 1, 2, 3, it was the 4th incarnation of the Caldwell Theater.
Okay.
But anyway, I was with the Caldwell Theater for many years, and I did like 50 shows for them.
Okay.
But in the process of doing that, I also worked at other theaters in South Florida.
Okay.
And eventually I was subletting my apartment in New York, and I was in New York City, and I kept going back to it like for a week here, 2 weeks there. And I finally said, who am I kidding? You know, Florida's my home now.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved down here permanently.
And then when was that? Did you move down here?
I guess permanently, probably. Well, I gave up my apartment, I know, in 87.
Okay.
Um,
And you gave up the winters.
I gave up the winters. I did, except then, of course, I went and worked in Rochester, New York in a blizzard. And I worked in Minnesota, Minneapolis. I don't work just in theater in South Florida. I mean, South Florida is my heart's home, but I have worked in theaters all over the country.
What are some of the other performances that you've been in? I'm sure the list would go on and on. Tell us about some of your other performances.
Oh, gosh, I mean, I've done over 200 shows.
Okay. Okay.
That I can recall. There's probably more than that. So
okay.
I used to joke that I spent 10 years in hoop skirts because for a long time there, the Caldwell Theater was known as a theater library theater. So Michael Hall dedicated the theater to doing a lot of the classics. So I was doing everything from Candida to Hedda Gabler to et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I used to joke those were my hoop skirt years. And then I had children.
Okay.
But I worked up until and through those pregnancies.
Okay.
And then I spent some time doing, I spent a couple of years with the zany Sheer Madness. Do you know Sheer Madness?
I don't. Tell me about that.
Well, Sheer Madness is a interactive, the original comedy mystery. It started in Boston and just recently closed in Boston after like 35 years.
Okay.
And we did it down here at the Broward Center, at the Kravis Center, at the, the old Brian C. Smith Theater. And then I was traveling with it a lot. And I was in Atlanta and Rochester, New York, and Albany, New York, and et cetera. But it was great fun. It was fun to get out of the seriousness of the hoop skirts and the restoration comedy into just this absolute insanity that Sheer Madness is. I mean, it was wonderful.
We were sharing a little bit before. You said you could take a 300-page script and learn it in like 3 days or something like that.
Well, that might have been an exaggeration, but I did cut my teeth when I was in my late 20s on 1 week stock at the State Theater of North Carolina. Flat Rock Playhouse. A lot of people down here are familiar with Flat Rock Playhouse. Gorgeous, gorgeous facility, a school, a facility. And that was 1 week stock back in 76 through like 82.
Okay.
Which means that we opened a show every Tuesday night.
Okay.
So we didn't get the script until Wednesday morning. And we read through it on Wednesday morning. Then we went and did the matinee of whatever show was running that week and the evening show. And then Thursday and Friday during the day from 10 to 4, we blocked the play. Then we did the currently running show in the evenings. Saturday morning, we ran all the blocking. Then we did a matinee and an evening. And then Sunday and Monday was check and what we call the daylight day of rest. And then we opened on Tuesday and Wednesday morning started all over again. So I was used at that time, I literally could learn a script in 24 hours because the brain is like a muscle and it becomes, and I was doing all the leads.
Okay.
So it was quite a training ground, but it was also a magical time too.
I am not wired that way. I'm an accompanist and a pianist. If you hand me the music and it's not too bad, I can probably fake it through a choral anthem or something. I can fake it on the musical end. But if you push me out on stage and expect me to remember words, no, absolutely not. I'll have a heart attack. So you have a different skill set than I can ever imagine.
That skill set has diminished proportionate to my age right now. I could no more do what I did when I was 26. I mean, it's harder for me to imprint those. And it's interesting you say that because music is like a foreign animal to me. I had never done a musical except to sort of be in the musical and maybe say a line or two here or there with the director smart enough to know not to give me a song. And when this whole COVID pandemic shut everything down, I was in rehearsal for a little night music down at Zoetic Stage.
Okay.
And it was to be my singing debut.
Okay.
I was singing Madame Armfeld's song Liaison.
Okay.
And it was at my age, it was wonderful for Stuart Meltzer to give me that challenge. And it was wonderful to feel and rehearse that challenge. And we were ready to go move into the theater, and boom, March 12th happened. So hopefully it'll come back around.
Hopefully it will come back around. We're all waiting to see what will happen in the next era and how things will unfold. There are some smaller shows that are kind of pulling one-man shows with social distancing that are pulling things together. But I know for the talent, the actresses, the actors, the musicians and everything, they have to be going through withdrawals to not be able to perform. It must just be pulling at your soul to not be able to do this, Barbara.
It really is. It's terrible because by now, night music would have opened and closed. And then I was supposed to go to North Carolina. I would be leaving right about now to go to North Carolina. I had a contract up there and then another one in the fall. And now, of course, everything's gone. But getting back to my singing debut for a minute, I don't recommend making your music debut with Sondheim.
With Sondheim? Okay.
Difficult. But beautiful. I love Sondheim. Anyway, so yes, it is terrible. It's like there's a hole in your heart. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do believe that we are survivors and that theater has always been around and it will come back again. I wish it would be now, but it's going to take a while, I think.
Yeah, I do too. It is a definite gap for, before all of this, we were going. My partner and I that I had at the time, we were consistently going to Gold Coast Jazz, the South Florida Symphony Orchestra, Florida Grand Opera, Slowborn Theater, Island City Stage. We were going up to the Kravis Center, down to Miami, to the Art Center. I mean, the list just was going on. And when people say there's nothing to do, they are not looking, because it is just absolutely everywhere of things to do. And to have all of that pulled so quickly, it's been very, very tough, and the withdrawals have been tough. And to work with the organizations that are struggling with that, it's very personal. And to see, everyone not being able to do that, it's been very personal for me too, to not be able to participate in those, because the arts give so much. They make us better people, and they challenge us to be better people, and they rejuvenate us in just so many ways. So
you can't have a culture without its art. I mean,
that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And yes, I agree with you. But I do think it'll come back. But right now, to look at the Broadway being dark, I can't imagine walking through Times Square right now. I think I would just stand and weep. So sad.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Something will happen. Yes. You probably answered my question. I played for the Fantastics once. You probably haven't done the Fantastics, but that was that was some of the most difficult music I ever had to learn. I was down with the headphones about 3 hours a night trying to learn it. It was some of the most difficult. And I got to a point where I thought, I don't think I can learn this before the performance. And I did, but man, that was some hard music to learn. So,
and that's not Sondheim.
No. But that was some hard music. Do you have any funny stories? I always like to ask people, do you have any funny on stage, off stage, backstage, after stage stories that you're allowed to share that does not divulge identities or anyone else?
I don't know where to begin. You had asked me earlier a question I would like to answer quickly. What is this little thing I'm getting? My camera? Oh, my cameras came back. My camera went away. Wait, we need to get my camera back.
Okay, and it should come back.
Come on.
There you go.
Okay. Some of my favorite shows you were asking me, which I have like 200, it's hard to name them, but
okay.
I think any Tennessee Williams show I have done.
Okay.
That's like you're a musician. For an actor doing a Tennessee Williams play is like being a musical instrument, because his dialogue is so rich and rhythmic and poetic and so beautiful. So any Tennessee Williams I've done about 3 or 4. August Osage County recently, Ionesco, which is Theater of the Absurd, the chairs at Palm Beach Drama Works. That was a huge challenge that we met and excelled. It was just an amazing performance. Off the top of my head, those were a few. But funny stories. Well, let's see. I remember one time having to do a lead in a play on 4 hours rehearsal.
Oh my.
I had arrived at a theater early to go hike in the woods until I started rehearsal the next day for the next show.
Okay.
And stage manager came knocking on my door in the actor housing that morning and said, "Hi, Barbara, welcome. You're on tonight." The lady, the actress who was doing the lead, had been bitten by a spider and it had gotten infected and gone sepsis. And
wow.
So the costumer came down to my room, started pulling clothes out of my closet, says, "Oh, here, this'll do." We ran up to the theater. The stage manager ran me through the script all by myself, and me writing furiously in the margins what my blocking was. And that night I went on, and I wasn't frightened because how could I be? I mean, it was so absurd, And of course I carried the script, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I did the play, and at one particular really fast change, a young male apprentice had been assigned to me to help me with the fast change. And I'm changing like crazy. And he said, "How are you doing, Miss Bradshaw?" And I said, "Oh, I'm great, Billy. By the way, what's this play about?" Because I didn't have the foggiest idea what I was doing. But that was fine. That's the kind of thing that happens in theater. I don't know. It's so hard off the top of my head to think of funny stories. That was probably one of the most challenging.
I'm sure you get pushed out into many circumstances. And I always share the story where there was once that I've been a church organist, and I was playing for a Presbyterian church, and they played some hymns that I didn't know, and the congregation didn't know. And one Sunday I played the wrong hymn. Luckily, they didn't know it either, and they just kept singing. I just kept playing. So that's always one of my funny stories to tell. And
then I did a production of Noises Off, not the one that was done down here in South Florida.
I remember that.
I didn't do the South Florida one.
No.
This was another theater in another part of the country. And
right.
Because most of the people in the cast, anybody who's watching this video and has done Noises Off will appreciate this story. Mm-hmm. In the second act, it's called The Dumb Show, where there's no dialogue, but they're just like madly recreating on stage what they've talked about. And it's very fast, and all the beats have to be exactly right. And because most of our cast was in the currently running show of that theater, they hadn't planned this well, and we ended up only having like 28 hours of rehearsal. Mm. And most theaters that do Noises Off have 3 weeks, 1 week alone for that particular act, which is known among theater people as the dumb show. And on opening night, we were all careening into each other. And at one point, my dear friend Preston and I came barreling up to each other, held onto each other's shoulders, and looked at each other and went, "What's next?" I mean, it was so panic driven, but we got through.
But you make it through.
Things like that happen,
Yeah. As they say, the show must go on. And I've learned if you fake it, keep the tempo going, most people won't know the difference, and don't make a face. Don't make a face.
Something that when I coach young actors or teach, I always say, you have to remember when you go out on that stage that the audience wants to love you. They want you to succeed. So if you mess up, they're just going to love you more.
Yeah.
As long as they're in on the joke.
Yeah.
Or in on the mess up. If they're not, then they just kind of go, what happened? But to be afraid of the audience is the worst possible erroneous thing to do, because they love you. They love you. They're there because they love you, and they want to enjoy the evening. So, it's hard sometimes to remember that. But yeah, no, this is my This is my life's blood. I've been doing this I've been doing it for 50 some years, but 45 professionally, member of the Actors Equity Union for 45 years. And I just, it's like cutting off your arm to suddenly not have it there, you know? It's a passion. It's a calling.
Yes. Well, I really appreciate that.
I know. I have been so fortunate in my career. I have worked with the best people, the best directors. I've been honored for my work more times than I probably should have. I've traveled the country because of my work. So and I raised 2 children. So one of which is in the medical field. We stress the sciences.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, congratulations. We're going to pull up the website again here for the Carbonell Awards. And again, congratulations on winning this award.
Thank you. And I shall end this by saying, I wish I'd had my Joan Crawford cheesecloth over the lens.
We laughed about that earlier. They are going to be broadcast August 3rd online, 2020, on the Broward Center for the Performing Arts YouTube site is where they will be, where it will be broadcast. So we're just really excited for you, and congratulations. And I can tell it's a very well-deserved award for you, Barbara.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your patience with my Luddite-ism and getting this all to work.
It's been a joy, and I look forward to future projects with you. Is there any other stories you wanted to share before we end?
No, I just want to send all my love out to all the Carbonell nominees and to the whole theater community. I mean, we are such a community. We are so tight in South Florida that if one person falls, 150 pick them up. It's a wonderful community, and congratulations to all the nominees and whoever the ultimate winners are. It's a joy, and we'll be back. We will be back.
We will be back. And the last question I ask everyone is, what words of encouragement can you give people during these very trying times?
Keep your sense of humor. Keep your sense of humor and stay true to yourself. Oh gosh, there's so many platitudes and cliches I could say, but this too shall pass, guys. It will. It will.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's been a joy talking to you and getting to know you. So we look forward to the award ceremony again. Congratulations. And if there's anything we can do for you, let us know.
Thank you. You're gonna edit this, right? Because I sort of rambled.
It was great. It was absolutely great. You did a fantastic job. We really appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You're fantastic. If you'd like to know more about us, we are outclick.com, outclique.com, or you can text OCQ to 22828 to stay updated on us. Barbara, you're such a joy. Keep at it. Keep at it. Keep encouraging.
I want to die with my boots on.
Go for it, girl. Go for it. Have a great one. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.